All right, we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that. Goodbye, horse. Hello, everybody. I have
Oh,
hello. We are live. We're
hi.
letting y'all filter in. Get
Oh,
comfy.
we're
Get
hanging out.
what?
We're hanging out.
We're hanging out. It's get some cocoa.
It's a Saturday night.
It's Saturday night and I ain't got nobody.
Wait, what?
Um, no, it's a Jimmy Buffett song.
Oh, of course you're singing a Jimmy Buffett song.
It's So I have the fucking Twitch dashboard pulled up, the creator dashboard to run shit for us, and I just love the just like Jimmy Buffett in your face
Ugh,
when I mention it.
terrible.
Oh Lord.
Jimmy
Uh,
Buffett, I'm sure, is a fine person.
you know,
I can't listen to his music.
it's just all about getting hammered on the beach. It's
I'm
all
sure, yeah, no, what it's about, I'm sure is fine, but there's just something about the sound of it. There's a
just
vibe I get from his music that,
I,
in my life experience, it pushes me the wrong way.
I thought you would be I thought you'd be down with Jimmy Buffett.
Again, the message, like, sure.
The like just the like let's go hang out on a beach. Let's get smashed. Let's
There's just
eat
something about it.
cheeseburgers. The man has a song called Cheeseburger in
Cheeseburgers in
Paradise.
Paradise, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Again, the subject matter, at least generally, as far as the
okay.
courses are concerned, I have no concern over.
Good.
Uh, there's just something I can't listen to it. I don't know. It's weird. I've always been a much more instrumental person. I
Okay.
never really listened to the lyrics.
Okay, fair enough. And his instrumentals in a lot of cases are just pretty standard folk rock, or like, if not folk rock, then just like island music.
Right, which
Like this is just, hey kids, do you want to get drunk on a beach? Here you go.
oh no, I'm going to jail. What could have caused that?
Oh Lord. All right, letting all the socials know that we live.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that Star Wars.
Star Wars is a thing.
Star Wars is a thing. I fucking am so tired of watching Star Wars at this
This is
point.
our last Saturday unless we get any demand for more.
It's just like we want you to do Clone Wars.
Fuck you.
Everyone in the chat just Clone Wars, Clone Wars. I would do it only if the viewership kept up with it. Like that would be
Like,
that would be my concession to make.
yeah, we'll get into this more when we actually start the show itself proper. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, it'd be hard. Like as much as I like Star Wars a lot, but even I'm having
Let's at least have a
issue.
break.
Yeah, let's played
I don't know how
a,
I'm gonna get through Fallen Order at this rate.
played a lot of Battlefront 2 this weekend.
New?
Yeah, I like the new one.
Okay.
Uh, Ewok Hunt is fun.
Ewok Hunt.
Yeah, like
I don't know what this is.
it's this mode where like you're in Endor at night and you have to hunt down these Ewoks or be hunted by these Ewoks.
Oh shit! Wow,
Yeah, it's a cool mode.
that's interesting.
It
Okay,
is a rad mode. Like if you,
that is a game I do want to check out eventually.
yeah, I generally have positive things to say about it. Like for the most
At this
part.
point, yeah.
Like at this point, they got rid of their microtransaction and bullshit. They fixed themselves up real good. Um,
Apparently, it's a good enough game at least.
yeah, well, it was always a good. Like I remember playing the beta and thinking it was awesome.
Okay.
Like I remember like playing that beta and being like, "Fuck, dude, this game is cool as hell."
Yeah.
And then
It's just EA being EA.
and then EA was just like, "Hey, you need to buy like $200,000 worth of microtransactions to make a character who can compete or play for like 800 hours." And it's like, "Oh, that's gross." Okay.
Just like all the other games, but also, come on.
Yeah, like oh, it is so gross. It is the most gross. So
Oh well.
Alright, so it's been about 5 minutes, everyone. We're going to finally start talking the movies. Our question of the day is, what is the best fight in Star Wars? You can go spaceship fight, you can go Jedi fight, whatever you want to discuss.
There's only one answer, but I'd love to hear theories.
Yes, I would too. If you want to include the games, great. I'd be happy to discuss that.
If you include the games.
You know.
Interesting.
Yeah, so let's excuse me. Let's
rank
die.
all the main series Star Wars now.
We went 1 to 9 on that.
Done.
Where we are done there. And now we are on to the Star Wars story films. We're gonna be doing both of these together at the same time.
Yep.
The reason we're gonna be doing both of these together at the same time is because one, we don't want to do 2 such streams or videos. 2, I feel that both of these, while actually pretty good flicks in my mind at least, like don't warrant their own hour-long plus discussion.
It's we'll get into it, but yeah. So okay, so what was the first one you watched?
I went in order. I went Rogue One first.
Okay.
And I liked this movie when I saw it on literally Christmas Day, the weekend it came out. It was just banger of a flick at the time, and I still really dig it. Like it's still a. I like seeing the war part of the Star War.
Yeah.
For lack of a better.
Showing what it actually is.
You know, seeing what's up. Seeing the actual like. The horrors of war when it comes to Star Wars and whatnot.
And not just that, but like seeing, the good guys kind of in disarray throughout a lot of the movie.
Yeah, and the fact that the good guys can gotta be pieces of shit sometimes.
Well, right.
Like like the good guys are good guys, but like that, like they were gonna murk a innocent man. Mm-hmm. In fact, a man who was helping them. Like. Let us know.
I just need to clarify. Were they trying to kill him so that they wouldn't let out any more information about the rebels?
It was so he wouldn't build them any more like crazy shit. Because he did, he was the engineer behind the Death Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they said later in the movie, they were going to build the Death Star anyway.
Right. But it's just this
But
man.
with him there, he was creating faults.
Yeah, the
so
big
it was like
fault.
This weird. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but still that guy was working for them, even though like they didn't know it, but like they're just gonna shoot that dude in the face. They had some other shit going on that was a little bit on the sketch side of things.
Like one of the main characters just straight up kills someone when they were trying to like run from the stormtroopers. He's like, it's okay, and then just kills him. Oh.
Once again,
wow.
Just shows that the rebels can in fact be pieces of shit sometimes.
Well, especially before, like this is the era of the rebels where there is no clear leader. There's a council trying to come together and no one can agree on anything, and so we're just doing whatever we possibly can with what little we have, which resorts to just doing dirty, awful shit.
Yeah, right. And then also there's the fact that like they're so undermanned that like when you are that level like of undermanned, you gotta even the field sometimes.
I mean, you gotta. Yeah, there were. The whole message of the movie comes in about like 2/3 of the way through when after all this bull happens, and then the smaller group of rebels, after the councils decide to not do anything, the smaller group goes out and does something, and then like everyone's like, oh, they're having an attack. Oh, okay, let's go. And then everyone just believed in carrying out this mission, and it worked. And like, so all of a sudden, everyone was united, and that was all that it took.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And you didn't need to do any of the awful stuff that happened over there. But like, it was explaining how the extremist guy, whoever raised Jin.
I forget. Shaw. Jesus, was it Saw or was it Shaw? I am terrible with all the names in this film.
Yeah, I got Jyn Erso.
Yeah, Jyn Erso, Galen Erso are
Yep.
the like two primary names I remember. No other name, just fucking.
Well, they're all new people,
Oh.
it's hard.
Um,
But it was like how that one, the extremist leader, became an extremist and then was trying to find out if this pilot was lying and like resorting to ruining someone's mind and essentially possibly killing them. To find out if he's being lied to when he's trying to tell the truth the whole time. And it's just a miracle so anyway, it's like trying these underhanded, awful, immoral tactics that is just not helping your cause anyway.
right.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a really cool message, twofold. One, just coming together, making the effort, believing, and just following through with that kind of plan instead of just fighting each other and then nothing gets done.
Right.
And then the other lesson being you don't have to be a Jedi. You don't have to be some amazing goddamn force-wielding user to enact change.
No, you do not. Though
And
it did
I
help that they had. He's not a Jedi, but he is a Jedi.
Yes.
Can we discuss that?
Well, so like I always thought it was weird. Well, so that's the thing is like he treads that line of does he or doesn't he? And I think like what would have been cool because I watched it once and then watched it recently, and then it was like he had to flip the final switch at the end, and I was like, just force it, just reach out your hand and force it, and I guess he couldn't do it.
Yeah, like
So he had to just walk and just hope no laser blasts hit him.
And he believed in the Force so hard.
And we assumed that the Force helped.
Yeah, you would have to, right? Like same thing with like when she held the Kyber crystal when they were going through the shield, right?
Right.
That was a cool little moment of theirs.
Subtle implication that maybe if the Force is with you, like these accurate stormtroopers can't hit you, which explains their inaccuracies against the heroes later on.
Maybe
that might be a stretch.
Like that. Just now we're explaining too much of the Star Wars.
Well, exactly. But isn't that what we're here for?
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah. Like it was nice to see like a personal side of the conflict. Because, like, what we always see, through 9 movies, it's about this one god, or these 2 goddamn wizard families.
Yep.
That's essentially what it boils down to. Wizard Family A and Wizard Family B.
Well, especially with the latest trilogy.
Especially with the latest trilogy. Now, even then, though, like, it used to just be mostly about Wizard Family A.
Yep.
But the newest one factors in, makes a Wizard Family B a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it's just so it was nice to see like this is what a boots on the ground conflict was, and like the entire time I'm watching, I'm just like this is a World War II movie.
Yep.
Like that's the entire time I'm like the entire time watching this, I'm like this is just Saving Private Ryan and shit of its ilk, but in space.
Well, they had the trenches for Empire Strikes Back, and then Ewoks was the war in the jungle.
Yeah.
It's they like to evoke.
And fucking Last Jedi had a trench. Had Trench of Will.
And then this had a fight on the beach.
Yep.
Storm on the beach, and yeah, so it was very nice to finally see the Rebel conflict without the Force, like a lot of the Force and the Jedi and all that stuff. It was really cool to see all that really fleshed out. And I cannot stress enough how awesome it is that this movie explains why there's a weak point on the Death Star.
Right? Like that is like for 50 years we wondered. 40 years we wondered. And now it explains it.
It was a good Family Guy joke.
Yeah, like
put some plywood over that or something.
Yeah, like just
and
just
now
like,
it all makes sense.
Yep, it was intentional. Good.
So good.
So smart. Good. A plus for that being the the idea for that.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I like that. I love the robot sidekick.
Robot's great.
Probably the best robot in Star Wars now. The best sidekick droid.
He's pretty good. He's pretty mouthy.
Yeah, he's really mouthy. He's really funny. He has a real good hero moment.
Sure.
He beats a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
Yep. Beats two of them.
Yeah, just
That's what he got. All right.
Like all great fucking moments.
I loved when Jyn got to keep her blaster on the ship, and the droid's like, "Do you want to know the odds of her using that on you?" It's like, we're going. It's high. It's very high.
And then he says something else that's just like, and just got hired. Like that. Right. That was another.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like A+ there. Yes.
There's some, there again a little bit more of the Disney influence here and there in terms of like comedic, stuff going on, but it was very subtle.
But like I also feel in this one it fits a little more, like just because it's not
like this mainline Star Wars thing.
Yeah, it's like which this just makes me want them to branch out of mainline Star Wars way more.
Sure.
This makes me want them to go out and like do non-mainline Star Wars way more.
I just wonder what you do, because this is a non-Star Wars that is so tied into the main story arc.
Quinn and I thought of one the other night at dinner. That would be really awesome. The 501st. You do an entire movie about the 501st.
Okay.
What the 501st was is they were Anakin's personal legion in the Clone Wars, and it ended up being Vader's personal legion all the way until he died.
Okay.
So like they were the dudes doing Order 66, and they were the dudes doing, all kinds of rough shit. Like for the Empire. Like they were top clone and later a mixture of clone and stormtroopers.
Okay.
Like I think that'd be a really cool movie idea. That's what the Star Wars Battlefront 2 original 2005 story was.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Like imagine seeing Order 66 but from the clones' perspective.
Right.
How fucking
Gary Witt on it.
Just yeah, I'll DM him right now.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Great.
Yeah, me and Gary, good pals. Sup, Shawshank? How you doing today, bud? Our question of the day, what is the best fight in Star Wars if you're interested?
I'm going to save my answer till the end unless someone else makes a suggestion.
Yes, if they bring up my favorite, but campaign cover the 501st. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, but now that isn't canon, so now we need to tell it again. But in a movie.
Is it not?
Yeah, that game isn't canon.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well.
No, the only things that are canon that are video games are the new Battlefront 2 and Jedi Fallen Order. So they could totally retell the 501st. So,
yeah.
Also, if you guys haven't yet, please give us a follow. We just hit that affiliate mark. We really want to keep that going. Our work towards partner.
Yeah.
And also, we have a sub button. We're gonna have an emote. We're gonna have emotes soon. I'm talking to our artist tomorrow, and we're also going to have a. So if you want to use your Twitch Prime, we'd appreciate it. And all that money goes into new equipment, like better lighting for me, better equipment in general, or paying our artist friend, stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
He needs to eat.
Probably pay him.
Yeah, he needs to eat. We keep him locked in the basement. I mean, what? All that good stuff.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. So anyway, back to the main topic.
Back to Rogue One.
Rogue One. Unless obviously chat has something they want to bring up. Yeah. Let's see. Are we include the myth? No, not yet. It's too soon. And also I haven't seen the last 2 episodes, and Aaron hasn't seen any of it, I believe.
Yeah, I don't care if you say something about a fight in Mandalorian, but if Bronson's going through it, maybe.
Yeah, as long as it's not the last 2 episodes. So you want to talk about that, like, first bar fight, or like the Fair enough. Okay. All right. Cool. So yeah.
Sure.
Um. But yeah. So
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Yeah. Like it was. If this told me anything, is I love the Star Wars universe when it isn't about the wizard family.
Well, see, but that's what's funny is that the movies up to that point, especially with the entire new trilogy, the Jedi stuff was the stuff that was good.
Yeah.
That was the good stuff, and all the stuff surrounding it was the most frustrating, annoying, didn't make sense at times. It was just ugh.
No,
And so it was funny that Rogue One was the exact opposite.
yeah, it was nice to see this world well done. Like it was nice to see the like not Jedi shit portrayed in a really cool, interesting way.
Yeah, and also it's not exactly exact opposite of the new trilogy, because also the small amount of Jedi stuff they do in here is super cool. So
It is it
is entirely Darth Vader, but
yes. So we might as well address that elephant in the room.
let's do that.
How fucking amazing was that Darth Vader scene?
The one thing I will say about they got James Earl Jones back to do the voice of Darth Vader, and I don't know if there's something about like his age or Disney wasn't sure how to handle his voice, but it felt off.
A little bit, and I think that might just have to be age at this point.
Right.
Like,
and at this point it's like, yeah, it doesn't quite sound exact, but at the same time, you're gonna not cast James Earl Jones.
what are you gonna do? You ain't gonna. You're gonna cast James Earl Jones. Shut up.
Yeah, everyone's just going to live with it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
But it did catch my attention while I was watching it. Otherwise,
Fucking hallway, like just
that hallway scene.
just it's all dark, and then you just and it lights up red, and he's just taking like reflecting blaster shots one-handed, whips the guns at all their hands, use the force to slam that dude against the ceiling, like just showcasing the power of Darth Vader.
It helped because it was for people our age who, the original trilogy was just an established thing from before our time. And we watched the prequels, which had this just amazing sword fighting in it. Just really awesome. And then you go back and watch the original trilogy and you watch Darth Vader, and it's like, all right, he was all black and he had the breathing and stuff, but I don't know.
The big imposing guy can choke you with magic.
That's cool, but it's just
this is why I was actually a friend of mine. So Jordan, friend of the stream, she watches the stream. She's a follower. She was part of our big Extra Life run. She's never watched through the Star Wars movies.
Oh.
And she asked me what's the order I should watch them in, and I gave her the opinion of this is why I think that you should watch Star Wars in, everyone. Rogue One.
Wow.
4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then Solo at the end.
If you feel like it.
Yeah, Solo at the end if you feel like it. Because it's not really essential to that, broader picture. Here's why I say you start with Rogue One. It's a modern movie. So like, as much as I love the original Star Wars, and I think it's an amazing film, I think if you were coming at it from like today, never ever seen it, and you heard all the hype about the franchise, I can see why that movie might not play for you. Especially rewatching it recently with you, being like, man, the first 20 minutes of this movie is weird as fuck.
Sure.
And people's attention span a lot of the time nowadays just, they can't focus on shit.
I mean, I could see how someone might see it that way for sure.
My girlfriend is lurking. Hi, Nicole.
Hello.
Mwah. Anyway, back to what we were saying. Yeah, so I always say you start with Rogue One. The reason I say you start with Rogue One is because that's the one that has the, in my opinion at least, the big, like, it's modern, so new people can really sit down and enjoy it and have a good time with it. I think it's smart enough to, it's good enough to be considered in the top tier of Star Wars films. And because it leads directly into 4, it makes Darth Vader seem as terrifying as he really is.
I get that. I just there are a lot of portions of that movie that where it alludes to the rest of the movies. That would be lost on someone who's starting there, but maybe that would still work out okay.
I think it would, especially because then you'd like think back like, oh, that's what they were talking about.
Maybe.
Because and then you do 4 and 5 because it continues the Vader and the Empire and the giant presence.
Right.
But then you get the Vader reveal at the end, and you get the full, you get the full
Backstory.
Yeah, boom, 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 boom. Backstory for him and the amazing ending to Revenge of the Sith, but with the silver lining, let you know what happens. And then you get Vader's redemption, and then you get to watch the new thing.
I don't know where that new trilogy fits still.
It's just plugged at the end.
Yeah, just throw it at the end because it happens after.
Yeah, it happens after. It's not essential in any way.
Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of isn't.
So it's or you finish Return of the Jedi and then you go play Knights of the Old Republic. So those are the two ways you can go about that.
Sure. Yeah. So, Rogue One, I think, it's a fantastic movie, from beginning to end, fun to watch.
I love the pseudo Jedi, as I'm gonna call him.
That guy's great.
Yeah, that guy is a trip. That guy is like just and I remember after this movie came out for a very long time when I was dealing with rough shit in life, I'd be like, I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me.
Yep.
When I'm dealing with rough shit in life. I'd probably be using that a lot more recently.
I bet.
2019, I needed a lot of help from the Force.
You got a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't die. So,
yeah, you didn't die.
So,
I
guess that makes me a Jedi. There we go. Or
at least the Force is strong.
Yeah.
Or was at that moment.
I am Force attuned. A lot of midichlorians.
The Force goes dark around someone with intent to kill. So
then it's really dark when I'm at work.
Oh my god! So
anyway,
I like the whole cast of characters that they create.
Yeah, I like Jin. I like the main like kind of skeevy looking dude. I like the pseudo Jedi's homie.
Yep.
The robot. They're all great. I just wish they said their names more so I could fucking remember them.
They only had one movie, man.
Yeah, I know. Even in that one movie, though, like, just say their name a little bit more. That's all I'm asking.
I really like our main bad guy for Rogue One that was competing with Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that a lot. That was a nice dynamic.
Yep.
You get to see how much of a dick Tarkin really was. Great CG, by the way.
Yeah, like obviously, I think as the years go on, you'll be able to easily tell. Like you can tell a little bit already if you're trying to look
really
for
looking,
it. But like,
yeah.
But it's good for what it is, and especially considering what we've seen with like Spider-Man, in 2000 whatever and things like that.
Yeah, like you go and like even watching the prequels recently, like you saw that, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Oh, well,
all
right.
Like, man, watch them 1999 CG Gungans.
Dude. It's so...
They didn't want you to get attached to the Rogue One crew, and yet I did.
That's another worry of mine, is that they have a good crew, and so, like, to start the entire series with this cool group of characters and just kill them off immediately, or maybe that's cool. I don't know. You
I
can't
kind
know
of
these things.
like I like it. I like it a little bit, like just because it's like you get this one contained movie of cool shit.
And it
Uh,
alludes to the Force, and you're not sure what the Force really is if you're just watching Rogue One, and then 4 starts to expand on it.
yeah, and like
Hmm.
and then like in 5 you get a real deep dish of it from Yoda.
Yeah.
Which and no, like no,
We need to like commission a study group of people who have never ever seen Star Wars and have them watch it in different
okay,
orders.
we'll go to a cave on the fucking Amazon.
They're out here.
They're very few. They're very few and far between, though. Like I know they're granted, Ray had seen Star Wars, but he hadn't seen a lot of other big movies from that time period. Like his ex girlfriend was the one who finally got to watch Ghostbusters and Indiana Jones.
Oh, sure. I haven't
Uh,
watched all the Indiana Jones myself.
which one are you
I
missing?
have. I don't know. I never cared much about Indiana Jones.
I love me some Indy.
It's fine.
The one that what's the one that my big one that a lot of people love that I just like. I didn't get around to it till like late college, and even then I thought it was just kind of okay.
Hmm.
Back to the Future.
That hurts.
Like, sorry, bro.
Back to the Future's great.
I love Ghostbusters. Love Jurassic Park.
Ghostbusters is great too.
Love me Jurassic Park.
Hmm.
At least the first two, anyway. Um,
I enjoyed 3 for what it was.
3 had some real cool horror moments in it. Like it had some real like oh shit like moments in it.
The
But
Spinosaurus versus the T-Rex
yeah,
fight.
the raptor, like those tubes with you think the raptors are like, and then
Yeah.
it moves. You're like, oh shit.
Oh,
I remember when I was a kid, that freaked me out so fucking bad.
yep.
Um,
When Alan falls asleep on the plane and he wakes up, and then the Velociraptor's like, Alan, come on. It's great.
maybe not great, but really funny.
It was great.
Alan.
Uh, Alan.
Lord.
Anyway, back to Star Wars.
Back to Star Wars. Do you think Star Wars would be made better with Velociraptors?
I mean, sure.
I just pictured a Jedi or a Sith riding a Velociraptor.
Oh, I was imagining a Velociraptor trying to hold a lightsaber.
Both
I've seen some in Rogue One. There's like an alien like shooting a gun, and I'm just like, oh, you're adorable. You're like 3 feet tall.
Oh Lord. Yeah, like I really liked these characters. I really liked what they did with the direction. It was nice to. It was not. It was nice to see Star Wars from kind of a civilian perspective
Yep.
because it was just like this fucking once again not the goddamn wizard family.
9 movies of watching the elite interact with each other. You know.
Yeah. So. All right. Yeah. So where are you gonna where are we ranking this one or
I gotta pull up my list. Let me pull up my
Yeah,
list.
let me get around that. Like I had a great time with it. This one was an easy rewatch.
Yeah.
Especially because this one it's been the longest since I've watched this one because I last saw it in theaters, even though I own it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Last hour sucked me in like 4 does.
Oh yeah, the once they are on that planet,
Hmm.
or once they are on the even actually when they're on the planet where they the second they land on the planet where Chirrut is the pseudo Jedi from
Jeddah.
yeah, from Jeddah, from the second they're on Jeddah onward, oh fucking beautiful. Like that movie is so goddamn good. And then once they go to I believe it's Ida,
Edu.
Edu. From there onward, there's no stopping that movie's momentum. It's too good.
It's really good.
Um. Okay, so for
You want to
me,
go first?
yeah, I'll go first. So for me, we got number 10 is Attack of the Clones. God,
Okay.
that movie's a piece of shit. I'll elaborate more once we're done. Return of the Jedi. Everyone I've talked to thinks I'm crazy for saying that, but whatever. Phantom Menace. So this one actually switched in the week of me sitting and thinking on it.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped one spot. Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
Um, then next up is Force Awakens.
All right.
And then we got these two are pretty interchangeable, but I'm picking a spot, and I'm saying Last Jedi. I love the highs of that movie. I love that they took Star Wars in a very different direction. It's just a shame that they couldn't fucking commit to it in the later movie. Then Rogue One, New Hope, Empire, Revenge.
Okay.
Okay, you go ahead.
My list has been on the verge of changing. I haven't touched it too much, but like you were saying, like you think about Rise of Skywalker, you let it kind of sit and digest for a week, and you're just like,
Goes a little sour. You're just like,
no matter what, no matter how I feel about that movie, it's like it's that moment where you realize the trilogy has been completed, and you're looking at what's been said and what's left, and it's just not satisfying.
well, it's not satisfying. And then it's just like it feels like they crammed like 3 goddamn movies into one, and you can tell JJ didn't like a lot of the decisions from Last Jedi, so he's trying to right those wrongs while writing his own movie, and that like I want to see the third movie Johnson was writing. Like I want to see that, and I also want to see the second movie JJ was writing.
Right. If they were to release okay, so this is the full J.J. Abrams trilogy. What does that look like? And then Rian Johnson didn't have a 7 written up, I imagine, because he was just hired on to do 8. So 8 and 9. See what that would have looked like.
So let's see what Johnson's 8 and 9 looks like. Yeah.
So that in mind, bottom is still Return of the Jedi, and the reason I have it at the very bottom, and the moment I started saying that and I looked over, I was like, I don't think that can be the bottom anymore.
The internet is going to crucify you.
The internet's going to crucify me no matter what I pick at the bottom.
Okay.
Despite the fact that I enjoy all these movies.
Okay, go on.
I'm going to leave it at the bottom for now, but we may have to have like an update on our podcast on Sundays, because I don't feel good about this.
Just fucking have you
it's on the list right now. I'm just letting it sit there for right now. Is Return of the Jedi at the bottom. And the reason that is because the story has progressed and the universe has been expanded on so much that seeing Episode 6 being, what we've said in the last few Star Wars podcasts, where I've said it's just, you're not bad, you're good. No, I'm not good, I'm bad, and you're bad. No. But it's like this culmination. It's like if you watched it in that order that you were talking about, and you get to 6, like after watching 1, 2, and 3, and you see the full culmination of it, that would be a cool way to watch 6.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why I have made this order.
Right.
This is I sat down, like someone showed me Machete order, which is close to this. I've seen a million different orders for this, and I finally figured out what is optimal Star Wars.
Sure.
Give me the vein and put the Star Wars inside of me.
I've been doing that for like a month now. I'm done. Take it out.
I'm high on the Force. I'm high on the Force, baby. Let's go. Makes me think I'm floating and shit.
So I currently have Jedi at the bottom.
Okay.
Here's the movie that's next up on it, and the more I think about it, the more I want to put it lower, the more I want to take it higher. Like, I have Last Jedi.
Why are you hurting me?
Because we feel opposite on another movie. I forget which one, but the Last Jedi, the lows hit too hard for me. There were some good highs in it. There were some real good highs. but the lows from the half of the story, or at one point 1/3 of the story for an hour plus is needless, unnecessary conflict that really screws up their plans. And then to see in Rise of Skywalker, they immortalize that moment, that culminating moment in Alliance. Like, none of this was necessary. Oh my god. Pissed me off so much. And Rogue One is actually, what I like about it is that it is the antithesis to that Admiral Holdo whole storyline. Is the leadership is incompetent. No one can agree on anything. Everyone's just left to stand around and do nothing. Guess what? The small group's going to go. We're going to get it done. Oh, we've inspired the entire rebel group. Oh my god, we have a shot.
Fair enough. All right, so
Rogue One.
All right, Last Jedi. Okay.
Last Jedi.
Also, real quick moment here for people new, because we have some new people in here. Welcome. Okay. Please feel free to answer the question of the day. What is the best fight in Star Wars? And also, please give us a follow. We just hit affiliate. We want to get on our way to partner. We're chugging along. Thank you for all the help, guys. You've been an amazing community with the Friday night fights and the chill Pokemon streams and now the Star Wars stuff. You've been wonderful. Of course, the Sunday morning podcast. And then we just unlocked that sub button. We're working on getting emotes. Those subs help us pay an artist to make those emotes. So that'd be appreciated. And then also it helps go towards equipment like lights, so you don't have the holy light of God radiating upon me.
I need to get more different lighting. Oh my god.
Yeah, we both need ring lights.
Yeah, ring lights would be good.
All kinds of stuff.
We'll get there.
Like I said, we'll get there. So if you want to help, please do. And then otherwise just chill, enjoy the content. Let's.
We also enjoy chatting. It's really cool to have a conversation with everyone while we talk about these things.
Yeah, that. This has been a very new experience for us because I've been streaming for a while, but it's during gameplay, not during actual discussion of shit like Star Wars.
Yep. Right.
So or tomorrow morning game of the year. So.
Oh God! Right. Well, that'll be a good discussion tomorrow morning.
Starbucks up, boy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Go on.
All right, so second from the bottom, Last Jedi.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it down here for right now. Just above Last Jedi is Rise of Skywalker.
It makes sense.
Because so much gets undone by Last Jedi, or gets undone from Last Jedi or ignored. Lots of potential just wasted. It looks weird watching them now, especially since we watched them back to back ourselves.
Yeah.
It's so seeing it with fresh eyes is wow, none of this, some of this connected, but some really doesn't, and I don't know what's going on. Some good highs with the Jedi stuff again. But then at the end, the more I thought about the scene with Palpatine and Rey and the crowd of Sith,
the crowd of cultists,
there was a real good tweet that said, "Emperor, why do we have this arena where we all sit and watch you?" And Palpatine says, "I don't know. I thought we could have events here and stuff." Because that's what it looks like. It's who are these people, first of all? Where have they been? And, they're dead now.
Someone pointed out to me that, how the fuck did they build what is essentially, 200 Death Stars with, out in the middle of nowhere space? How did that happen?
Yeah. Did they not explain that?
No, they're just
I don't think they did.
They barely explained him coming back to life and Snoke. They're the dark side, unnatural, blah.
The more I think about it, the more I get what you're saying, where they crammed a lot. They just said, they explained Snoke in, one shot while Palpatine was talking about other things.
Through dark magic and Sith cloning.
Great. Done. That guy that was a bad guy for 2 movies explained in one line and never thought of ever again.
Yep. Just, I can sense the anger in you.
And it's frustrating because I know I'm in the middle of my list. Should we save this for the end?
Yeah, save
when
for
we
the end.
recap all this?
Yeah,
'Cause,
like I
could-
said, this is why I didn't recap too much.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, all right.
We'll poop
let's
on
get
Rise of
through this. Let's get
Skywalker
through
later.
this. I've been saying that these are tied. I'm going to untie them.
Okay.
So next movie is episode 2.
All right. Okay.
And the reason episode 2 is so high is because it is the most important of the first 6 or not of the first 6.
I was about to say, like, what the fuck?
There's a lot of, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. There's a lot of important information that, like, because 789 does not really, well, okay, so, hang on. I got different thoughts going through my head, so I'm confusing myself. So I'm going to start over. Everyone, forget what you...
We broken.
Yeah, no.
We broke.
Finally, after, like, the 8th or 9th, or... Man, we're at 10 or 11 Star Wars movies now, huh?
We are at 10 out of 11, yes.
Oh, my God. Okay. 2 had a lot of very important information about the building of the Empire.
Okay.
And I was... Watching that again was fascinating.
I really liked the end of it.
In terms of entertainment, it is the least entertaining.
In just the worst acted, the second worst effects, it is a bad film in so many ways.
It is all set up for 3, and when you understand that context, it's fine. There's some good information about the building of this evil force that you've known since 77. Obviously not for us, but
since I was like 5 years, since I was a 5-year-old, because that's why I watched original Star Wars.
Right, and then you watch episode 1, and they're showing off this amazing democracy that's trying to hold together, and there's just this vibrant galaxy that you explore, and you're watching both Anakin's very awkward turn towards Darth Vader, which just happens at that age,
just when you're 17, you go murder a bunch of children, I guess. That's what happens.
That's what happens. Again,
someone make a clip of that quote.
That's when young men can do terrible things in anger. That happens a lot.
Yeah, like go murder a bunch of small children. I know that's what I did when I was 19.
Okay, not everyone. Good God.
I did awful shit as a young man, but like
exactly.
but it was mostly to myself.
The whole point is it was. Well, the whole point is it's it was during a very vulnerable time.
Right.
For Anakin specifically, and Anakin had a lot of issues regarding his mom and things like that, just grave stuff, and then he was involved in the elite of the elite battles in the galaxy.
The thing is, though, is like I think that you can make stuff like that way more entertaining. Like, I love talking movies. I just sat through a 3.5 hour long Martin Scorsese movie twice.
Sure.
Over Christmas break, that is like 85% talking.
Sure.
Like it's just a matter of the way you shoot it and the way you write it, and most of this is bad and redundant. But we'll like I said, we'll get to it later. So Phantom Clones.
Attack of the Clones, but then like just slightly higher is Phantom Menace, just because it is a more entertaining movie. There's less information on the formation of the Empire, which is why I initially had them tied. It was like 1 was kind of establishing all the characters, and 2 was about establishing the Switch, and then so I usually grade those 2 together. After that is Force Awakens.
Okay.
And Force Awakens is just a wonderfully entertaining movie, introduces characters that I love, and we all know how that goes. So we'll just move on. Then Empire.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay. That's a little surprise, all right.
Empire is a fantastic movie. It establishes a lot about the Force, but I think from what's left over, you can tell I have a fascination with like this 20-ish year period in the Star Wars films,
Just
and it is
just from when the Empire starts
yep,
to when right about before it's about to stop.
yeah, right, exactly. So next on the list is Rogue One.
Okay.
Had I grown up in the time of the original trilogy, I would probably have 5 and 6 way higher. But that's just not how I have gotten to know Star Wars.
I mean that I feel like that's how I would feel about. I feel like Empire would probably be my number one if I was in that group. Yes,
That's the thing. Yeah. So unfortunately, we are going to have a different viewpoint on this, and there's nothing I can do about that. So like 5 to me, it's very entertaining. There's a lot of good stuff in it for sure. But Rogue One just talks about a lot of great stuff regarding what was going on outside of the Jedi and struggles between humans and what rebellions are made of. And yeah, they say hope a lot, but like you actually watch, what undoes a rebellion. And
right, and then it's also like it leads into the fact that the next movie is called A New Hope. So
yep,
it introduces Darth Vader really well.
God, does it ever? And then after that is 3.
Okay.
Fantastic movie that is bolstered by the setup of 1 and 2. Just really good. And then 4, because
it's the Star Wars.
It's the Star Wars. It's the complete package of a movie. But it's just like 3, except it's the culmination. Whereas like the 3 is like the perfect downfall, and then Rogue One is this great kind of like middle period of the bottom and then seeing the top going up, and then 4 is the rise.
So before we get to Solo,
yes,
what do you guys think? Do you think we're wrong? Would you rank Rogue One higher than we have it? Me, where I have it in my top 4, Aaron, where he has his top 3. Do you think that we're both crazy and Return of the Jedi is the best Star Wars? We'll give you guys a couple minutes to talk about that. We'll do a little bit of an intermission here where we bullshit around. By the way, before anyone asks, yeah, we're working on break screens too.
We are. Yeah, we have a couple screens we're working on. We just have our offline going right now, right?
Yeah, it's just the offline page. Yeah. It's the thing is like we started this as like a small YouTube thing, and when we realized like, we can do this pretty consistently, pretty well. We should probably work on this a little further.
Yeah, no, it was like we were just because we started this in 2008.
Yeah, and then came back to it in 2019.
And what was funny was when we started it then, it was like we were trying to be game reviewers.
Yeah.
Covering the news and then which is kind of what our game cast is. But
yes, but it's definitely more in line with like shit we care about outside of a couple of like weeks where it's like, all right, we need something to talk about.
It's just about it's about our own stuff, and that's because that's just kind of the turn that the internet has made. It's no longer about going to your official source for all things of this or that. It's finding people who you like.
It's about finding your niche, like your niche as a creator, and then the audience. You're creating something for some audience. Is essentially what it is. And that's not even the best way to put it, in all honesty. But like it's like you're creating content for a niche, whatever your niche is, and then the audience, hopefully comes to that niche if it's big enough. Yeah.
And you got to respond to the audience as well if they respond to something that's in your niche that they like.
Yeah, of course. Like if I keep playing Dragon Ball on Fridays, and then of course I'll keep playing fighting games.
You seem like you'd be a big fighting game guy. You'd be good with that. We'll see.
Yeah.
But we'll see how this channel goes. We're kind of just doing what we enjoy doing, and we'll see where things take us, where you guys might take us, maybe.
Yep. Tell us what you want. We will deliver.
I don't want to pay for another month of Disney Plus though. So
We'll we'll review Sega Saturn games.
there we go. All right,
Did you see?
I can do that.
Did you see Jeff's like Tumblr about the Sega Saturn?
No, what? I want to see that.
Hold on, I'll send it to you.
I watched a good chunk of them playing Sega CD games.
That's a weird product.
I watched like an hour of Sewer Shark.
Why would you do this to yourself?
I've always heard of Sewer Shark, but I've never seen it, and that is a trip.
Dude,
I can't believe someone like they got multiple people together to make that thing. Ugh.
The Sega CD is man. You wanna talk about like I was discussing with Anthony about this, and like every time I bring up the Sega Saturn, Anthony's just like, this sounds like a shit show.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, it was and it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
okay.
There are a lot of really, really awesome games on the Saturn, but most of them you have to import.
Yeah, see, that's not happening.
Because the system did really, really, really well in Japan, but nowhere else.
Weird.
Well, the reason it did well in Japan is because what was Sega and the Saturn good at? Arcade ports. What was still really relevant in the mid-90s in Japan, but not starting to die here? Arcades. So, like, that's why, like, the Sega Saturn did really well at the time. And then also, like, Sega fucked up the launch of it a bit. And, like, just, like, the entire year and a half leading into the Saturn, Sega just kept fucking up.
Like, that sounds like Sega.
Well, like, because they put out, like, the Sega CD, and then, like, they're like, well, we need a mid-gen thing to keep, like, tech-happy customers happy, so they put out the 32X. And then after they put out the 32X, they're like, alright, here's the Saturn. Like, it launched in December of 94, next to the PlayStation in Japan.
Ooh.
But, like, and they were kind of even in Japan.
Right.
For at least that first, like, year until, PlayStation blew it out.
Yep.
But, like, in North America, they had this whole thing called Saturn Day planned. And what Saturn... Look, man, Sega was
That's fine.
There's another one they had for Sonic 2 called Sonic Tuesday.
I remember Sonic Tuesday. I've heard of that.
Yeah, so they had Saturn Day.
Okay.
And with Saturn... by the way, I love talking about the Sega Saturn because most people don't even know what the fuck it is.
I can tell.
Chat, if you know what the Sega Saturn was, let us know.
I knew it existed. I was in a Nintendo household.
I was a Nintendo kid as well until, like, I was a teenager. So, so the Sega Saturn, it was my only exposure to a Genesis is I got a hand-me-down one from my cousin eventually. And then
Gotcha.
we had a Dreamcast for all of a year until we traded in for a PS2. So, really regret doing that, actually, in hindsight. But, another thing.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, so... But anyway, but then they come out at E3, and they're like, it's launching today! Now, this is how that creates problems. Because, one, they didn't tell all of their retailers. So a lot of retailers are pissed off at them. They didn't tell most game studios that were working on games for it. So they didn't get to be a part of the launch. And they thought, oh, we have all this time to work on a game for September for the launch, and now they're pissed about that. And it's $400.
Right.
And then Sony comes out, and literally Steve Race comes on stage, and he just says, $299, and then walks off the stage.
Yeah, and it's the PlayStation.
Yeah, and, like, the PlayStation was not a, bona fide hit for the industry, but it was, like... it was like they made games for the home market, and they also focused on 3D and spectacle and growing the industry. Where Sega was like arcade games.
I was gonna say, PlayStation was like it was the future.
It. You didn't know it at the time.
The impression I've been given up to this point was that people were like, that's crazy. These polygon creatures, like seeing, yeah, like exploring a 3D space. That was because N64 didn't that come out later?
It came out a year later,
Yeah.
or like 8 months, or like 9 months later.
Well,
Right.
PlayStation was kind of the first, if you're not counting the Mode 7 stuff happening on Super
Right,
Nintendo.
right, and some of the stuff going on in arcades. It was,
And yeah,
but like what ends up happening there is, what ends up happening there though is like people are still really skeptical because of like failure of the 3DO, failure of the Atari Jaguar,
ooh,
failure of all these like the graveyard of systems from the early 90s.
3DO. We want to talk about systems.
The Apple Pippin. Apple made a game console.
Philips
Philips CDI. Yeah, like,
Philips CDI.
yeah, this torrid pile of bullshit. So that's why, and like it didn't exactly have like a killer launch lineup, but like what it did have is like 4 months later Tekken came out, and like Tekken was kind of the earliest game that sold the PlayStation.
Okay.
Like once Tekken was out, people started fucking me like, oh fuck, PlayStation. And then in the United States, Saturn never really got like a hold. And
Sure.
then in the
Well, I'm looking through Saturn games released in the U.S. It's like the one I've recognized so far is the Daytona USA games.
Panzer Dragoon.
I'm getting there. I'm in D's right now.
Radiant Silvergun.
Okay.
What
Dragon
else?
Force.
Yeah,
1.
that game was cool. Dragon Force, and that's actually what the band named themselves after.
Right.
Yeah.
Earthworm Jim 2.
All the Capcom fighting games, Darkstalkers, Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men, Children of the Atom, all that shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, there's so many unreleased. That
Or
got
just-
released in Japan.
Yeah, that's why like
Gex.
this is why that if you have a Sega Saturn, you
You have to import.
you put an action replay in that bitch, so you can play Japanese games, and then you import.
Jesus, high octane.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
And then Panzer Dragoon, the what is largely considered the best game for the Saturn is Panzer Dragoon Saga, and it's massively expensive if you want a US copy.
Oh god.
And it's
sure.
considered one of like the best RPGs of all time, but it just didn't get the push that Final Fantasy VII and its ilk got. Yeah, like a disc and case only copy of it is $100.
Mm.
And if you want a sealed copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga, it can go for $1,000 or more.
Ugh.
So,
Got 2 Maddens.
which is ironic because
This is exactly, because that was what helped kill him.
Yep.
Wow, this is some real sad stuff. MechWarrior 2.
Yeah. No.
Sad.
It's an interesting system. It really is. Like it's like I keep meaning to buy one and like sit down and put in the work to like get it on the stream and talk to people and like really have like an in-depth talk about like, well, kids, so. Oh, and then also another thing that happened with it is just developers didn't like support it because like in like 97 the head of the company comes out and like, yeah, this is not the future of Sega,
Yeah, it's already out that this isn't gonna work.
which
so...
like you don't say it though. You
But how'd they
don't
handle the Wii U?
you don't say it like 2 years before it's fucking dead. Like, yeah, it's dead, guys. By the like Nights into Dreams is like $100. That was a high profile game.
Did that look the same? No, this is a different looking thing, right? Than the one that was on the Dreamcast?
No, Nights wasn't a Dreamcast game. Nights was a Saturn game.
Oh, was that a strictly Saturn game?
Yep, that was a Saturn and then later Xbox Live Arcade game.
Look at this controller. Oh, it's optional. This isn't the standard controller.
No, the standard controller actually.
The optional one is like this disc that has like some handles on the side, but this is like, this makes the Duke look small.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so anyway, that's your little taste of Sega history, everybody.
Little taste of what we like to talk about: failed consoles.
They're actually one of my favorite topics. It really is.
It's fascinating. Let's see, we got Power Slave and Primal Rage.
Like, if you want to talk about, like, I would love to talk about, like, the Neo Geo and the Wii U and the fucking, like, the Dreamcast. Like, they're fascinating.
We need to figure out a way to have these talks, but while one of us is playing some of these old games.
I mean,
I think that would be a cool thing to do.
I mean, yeah, I mean, some of these have been ported to PC, so I mean, that's not a.
There are ways we can make this happen.
I have a lot of these on 360 because they really released a lot of them on 360.
Sure.
So I mean, if you guys want to watch me play Soul Calibur or Knights,
how about Road and Track presents The Need for Speed?
I don't think that's been ported to XBLA. How about...
It's got to be out there somewhere.
How about Radiant Silvergun?
Sure.
How about that?
Why not?
So, anyway, we're going to get into Solo now. It's been a nice little break, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that.
Shining Force 3.
I'll talk to Anthony about making a What Happened, but for failed consoles.
I don't know if he'd go for it.
Yeah, or almost failed consoles like the PS3. That's another one that's just... The PS3 haunts Sony to this day.
Oh, sure.
It's the whole reason the PS4 can't be backwards compatible.
Yep.
Because of the fucking cell architecture. It's
terrible.
They made their own nightmare. Failed Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Fucking, we'll drag out... No
more Dragon Ball Z Fighters. We're playing bad games.
Playing Clay Fighter.
Oh, no. No.
You know the real fucking irony to all, like, the hard part about if we were to do this is, like, it's really hard to capture footage for those old systems.
Yeah.
So, like, for Saturn, it's not too hard because they have S-Video, so you just do S-Video to HDMI converter.
Yeah.
But, like, doing a dream... Sega actually makes it fairly easy. But, like, because they supported S-Video so hard.
Right.
And there's, like, all these, different, things you can do to make that dream happen. But for, like...
Other consoles.
Yeah, like, for example, like, GameCube, giant pain in the ass. Yeah.
Sonic R. I'll play some Sonic R on stream. Happily.
I think that's actually on Xbox Live.
It's somewhere.
That's, yeah, like...
I've owned a copy.
I need to look up Saturn games ported to other systems.
Anyway.
But do you think that... Hey, they put out a Genesis Mini. Do you think they'll put out a Saturn Mini?
No. No.
I like how you're just like, no chance.
No. Why?
Like, they'll put out a Dreamcast Mini first.
I think that's something like the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account would tweet on April Fools.
I know that guy. I'm gonna email him that.
There you go.
I know that guy. I know the guy who runs the Sonic Twitter. I actually had the weirdest experience meeting that guy too.
Okay.
So it's E3 2017. We have an appointment with. We actually don't have an appointment. We just barnstormed them. Asking like, hey, would you guys be willing to do an interview for this new Sonic Generations? I think it was called Sonic Forces.
Sonic Forces.
And Sonic Mania. And they're like, sure, we'll do an interview for Sonic Mania and Sonic Forces. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'll do Mania, Thomas, you do Forces.
You're a dick.
To be fair, it was supposed to be the follow-up to Generations. It wasn't supposed to be what it ended up being.
Oh, I see.
And also, like, as the most tenured person there, I got first dibs. So,
okay.
I'm getting ready to do my interview, and I'm like, and I didn't catch his position or name beforehand.
Yeah.
Oh, I just caught his name, and I'm like, hey, I'm speaking to so-and-so with Sega and the Sonic team. So what is it that you do for Sega? And he's like, okay, well, I run the social media for Sega, and I also run the Sonic Twitter account. And I'm like, wait, You're that guy? And he's like, yep. And I'm like, oh my god, I love
That's cool.
Yeah, like that's how I fanboyed.
That's video game community royalty.
Yeah, like that's how I fanboyed in front of Mr. Aaron Weber, who runs the Sonic Twitter.
Shush.
Oh,
Keep it secret. It is a mystery forever.
It's not a mystery. He has it on his Twitter account.
No.
Okay, fine.
No one look.
No one.
Strike that from the stream.
Oh Lord.
I'm still looking through these games. There's just nothing.
There's nothing for you.
Tomb Raider's on Saturn?
Yeah, they did a Tomb Raider port.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Um,
Well, that's cool. That guy does a good job.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like I said, there are some rad games on the Saturn. Just most of them are
Virtual
arcade
Cop,
ports.
Virtual Fighter,
Virtual Cop, yeah, Virtual Fighter, both rads.
Virtual Fighter Kids.
Fucking A. Yeah, I'm gonna look up highest rated Saturn games. Fuck Solo.
Yeah,
Sega Saturn days.
Warcraft 2.
Yeah, that was a port.
Yeah.
Just like the PS2 got that as well, I think.
Okay.
Alright, so according to Games Radar, best Sega Saturn games. Okay, hold on. They're being... I will pause my ad blocker.
There's this game called Wipeout that was released for the Saturn.
Yeah, that was a lot more popular on the PS1.
Yeah, it sure was.
So let's see. They have Die Hard Arcade, which
Yes.
yeah, that actually was a really good game. For those of you who want a really good Die Hard game, that exists. Wipeout 2097.
Yep.
Virtual Cop, great game. Grandia, solid RPG. I've never heard of this game. Steep Slope Sliders.
That seems hard to say.
Croc. Street Fighter Alpha 2. Okay. Yeah, that's a fucking awesome game. Yeah, that's most people that consider to be the best of the Alpha series. I disagree. I think 3 is better, but hey. Shining Force 3, great RPG. There's apparently a shooter named Exhumed. I've never even heard of it. Apparently, it's a company called. It is a lobotomy software game running on the Slave Driver engine developed to power the company's Saturn ports of Quake and Duke Nukem 3D. Duke Nukem 3D. Galactic Attack on Layer Section, so shmup. Tomb Raider, but it ran worse than the PlayStation version in most cases. No. Crap, where's the audio coming from?
What?
Oh, yeah, well, on my side.
Oh.
Not for you. Let's see. Dark Savior.
You're getting into games that have no...
I've never heard of it, but it looks
Yeah,
cool.
no.
You got a Resident Evil port. Oh, fuck. Saturn Bomberman. So, yeah, Saturn Bomberman is amazing.
Okay.
Because you can do 10 players.
Oh, no.
You can do... I have wanted to do that so badly. But, like, I need to get 9 people and 10 Saturn controllers to do it. Virtual Cop 2... Sega Ages Volume 1, Street Fighter Alpha 3, as I've said, Radiant Silvergun, Panzer Dragoon Y, Guardian Heroes, yeah, that was a good one. I believe that's on Xbox Live also. Panzer Dragoon Saga, Virtua Fighter 2, Sega Rally Championship, and no, Nights into Dreams is not the best Sega Saturn game. Shut up, Games Radar. Okay,
the debate continues.
Well, all right.
Which one's better, Solo or Nights into Dreams?
Solo.
Solo.
Even though they both only take you about 90 minutes to finish.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk some Solo.
Talk some Solo. Let's finish off this Star Wars series.
This is the most Marvel ass movie yet.
This is the Disney-esque
This is I felt like I was watching someone was making like a kid Marvel movie, like a teenage Marvel hero, like you know,
Sure.
like if you took Bucky and made him a kid, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, like some of it I liked. Like part of the reason I like this movie so much is like I'm a sucker for heist movies.
Yeah.
Like I'm a sucker for the heist movies, so Solo is really appealing in that sense.
Okay.
And it does do humor really well. Like you're just making that noise with your mouth. You know, like that was very funny.
Yep.
It's like there's that. There's the it's visually like that set piece on the train was really cool.
Oh yeah.
But like this movie just feels so fucking unnecessary. Like
Oh.
the entire time I'm watching it, I'm just like, I didn't need to know any of this. I don't really like care all that much.
Like I think that's its biggest flaw. I think it is a good movie. I really enjoyed it. It's just
I
the
hate
only.
I
What's up?
hate how Han Solo got his last name. I
Eh.
hate it. I hate it so much.
It's like
Like
it is something that's been happening in Star Wars is people like getting names because someone just thought of something in that moment and it's like, oh, that's how he got the name. It's like they've done it so many times now. I'm like,
was a good heist movie, meh Star Wars movie. Agree. Very much agree. But go
yeah.
on. Say what you're saying.
So like that's the thing is that I really enjoyed the movie. I think explaining Han's backstory and how he met Lando and what Lando was about. And
I love him. I love Donald Glover as Lando. Actually,
he does great.
He does a great job. That's exactly what I envisioned for young Lando. Actually, it was very annoying to have to watch this movie on Netflix. By the way,
Why is that?
Just because I was watching all the others on one service.
Oh yeah, I was like, crap. Well,
I was just like, oh right.
switch over from one URL to the other.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? The guy that was mentoring Han Solo.
Oh, the Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. I thought he did good.
Yeah, no, they got an A+ cast for this movie.
Like the cast, in general, I thought was really good.
They did serious work. They got an A+ cast for this, no doubt.
Introducing how they have Han Solo on the front lines as a stormtrooper.
I like that. I like how they introduced Chewbacca.
How they introduced Chewbacca and how they got together was incredible.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. But like all this together, like as much as I enjoyed this movie, when you consider what Star Wars is about and like what the stakes are at, and what the themes tend to be about, this is more about just going kind of deep dive into one character, and this one character is not even necessarily all that important.
Right, like he's very much like he becomes important later, but at this point in the story, you're just like getting all of his backstory.
Right, because when you meet him in 4, he's just another guy at this shady ass bar who's involved with shady stuff.
Yeah, he is just like another shady smuggler doing smuggler ass shit.
And he learns how to become a smuggler, and you see how he learned everything he learned and what made him him. And that's cool, and I really enjoyed that.
But it's like I was like my own imagination was filling in those blanks already.
Filling the imagination, using your imagination to fill in those blanks is fun, and that's obviously going to be better than whatever gets written on the page because once it's written, it's definite. Whereas in your imagination, it could be anything.
Yeah, Han Solo had a million different backstories from a million different people, and they just filled this in this way.
But I don't know. I think this is fine. I have a problem with the woman becomes his former girlfriend, then stays behind to help Darth Maul.
Yeah, that is Darth Maul. So we know this takes place before the end of Rebels.
So I guess it would make sense to people who have followed Rebels or
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
Yeah,
for me, I did not follow that.
I'll give you the short. Darth Maul is alive,
Yes,
and he gets a robot bottom torso.
yes, I do know
And
that.
fucks with both the Separatists and the Republic, and then later he fucks with the Empire and the Rebels. And then on top of all that, he goes to fight Obi-Wan, and he loses, and he's like, and then he says to Obi-Wan, he will avenge us, and referring to Luke. And then yeah.
How do we know it's referring to Luke?
Just because, like, well, like he knows that, like, that's why Obi-Wan is there to, like, look after Luke, and he
Okay.
also knows that, like, he can sense that there's someone else that's strong in the Force there. So I really did. I liked how they met Chewbacca and
Yeah.
set up Chewbacca. I liked the whole heist crew before they all bought it.
Well, yeah. No, the heist
Um,
crew was good until that happened.
Yeah.
Trying to remember everything that happened. Yeah, the gang guy was the gang leader. Was good.
It's weird to think that he's Vision in Avengers.
Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was a weird.
But you see it.
Yeah, you do see it. It's just weird.
No, right. Well, again, yeah, you can see all the crossover kind of really happening there.
No, for sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
And then there's the final culmination, and I thought this was good, was like the final confrontation where Han finally does confront his mentor, and then they're both aiming at each other, and his mentor's just talking, and Han Solo shoots first.
That was good.
Unprompted, shoots him, and then his mentor dying says, "You did the right thing."
And that little bit of characterization was nice.
That was good.
I will def give that. That was nice characterization. As long as we're going down that path, I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the whole getting to see the young Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
I also like to see that, like, he knew Lando was cheating, so at the end of the game, he you get to see at the very end of the movie how he gets to keep the Falcon. Like,
Which is weird because he gets the Falcon by playing fair and square. It's a weird, like, the Han Solo you learn in this movie is a very weird mix of both being good and bad. Where he's at heart he's a good person, but there's this ego that wants to, like, chase this more kind of gray-ish route, but his ids, like, wants to do the good thing.
Right. And
very interesting.
That's and so what do you think of the robot that's like the Lando's sassy robot companion?
That was a bit much.
Yeah.
Like, I understand what they were going for. It was just weird, like, having Lando, a.k.a. Donald Glover, a.k.a. Childish Gambino, like, sighing at a robot asking for equal rights. That was a weird, like, I feel like someone messed up something in writing that scene.
Oh, Lord.
That was another thing of, like, this character is fighting for the right thing, absolutely, but this is the way they're going about it is going to put some people off, and not for the right reasons, but that doesn't change the fact that it's going to put some people off. But good character. He's like, yeah, I know. I think Lando's into me. He's just not my type.
That whole scene
Yeah.
was so awkward and hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the double cross at the end.
Yeah.
That was nice. I liked how you get to see what the parsec, the Kessel Run was.
I don't even understand what happened with the 12 seconds or.
No, it's he made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
In 12 parsecs, was that?
Yeah, that was it.
But was that distance? Was that?
Yeah, they don't.
Time?
They don't.
Because, like, I was, like, trying to figure out. I was
It
trying
has
to
to be
measure
time,
the
right?
parsec somehow, and
It has to be time, right?
but I was trying to measure it during that scene, and I just was not understanding where any of it was lining up. That one was the least clear to me. I may have to watch it again, but
No, I always assumed it was time. Like time. Well, hold on, we can find this out right now. Is a parsec time or distance?
well, so I've also heard that it's different from the actual factual.
Well, yes, I'm going off. Um. All right, so. So it's so in less than 12 parsecs is parsec of unit of distance, not time. By moving closer to black holes, limits cut the distance down to 11.5 parsecs.
Right, Shawshank says, yeah, distance, which I guess I seem to remember early on, like years and years ago, that was like we were trying to figure out if that was time or distance, and factual parsec is distance.
The Kelso Run was an 18 parsec route by smugglers.
And they went to 12 because they cut through.
Yeah. And by moving close to a black hole, Slimans cut the distance down to 11.5. The smuggler Boshek actually beat Solo's record in his ship, Infinity, but without cargo to weigh him down. A few months later, Han Solo beat his own and Boshek's records in a run he made with Luke Skywalker.
Oh.
Yep. So...
Okay.
Yay! So Shawshank says distance. So there's distance. Okay.
It is distance.
So,
Yeah, I guess this movie makes it official that it's about distance.
Okay. So the double cross was nice. I felt the Darth Maul shit setup was the most unnecessary shit.
I imagine if you're like into the story, maybe like
Yeah.
you're deep in the know, maybe it makes sense. But as someone who's not in the know with the rest of the stuff outside of the movies, like I was like, okay, am I expecting a Solo 2 later?
I mean, yeah, like, are they gonna do Darth Maul, a Star Wars story?
Are we doing Darth? I'd be that sure. I guess
that'd be the. If you've ever read any of his stuff, that would be the darkest shit in the world. That might have to be the world's first R-rated Star Wars.
After Joker was so financially successful, I bet Disney's like, we could do this.
Yeah, we could get some of that.
Get this Darth Maul guy.
We got this Walmart face paint guy. Yeah, let's do it. We got our own. We got our own face paint guy.
So, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, it as a movie on its own, it's like I enjoy it as a like overall Star Wars thing. I felt it's a little unnecessary.
I mean, the stakes are so high, and the conversations and discussions of the movie, the topics that they are trying to talk about in those movies are so much bigger and more important than building the backstory of one of the characters.
It feels like a. It feels like a. God, what is it? It just feels kind of like a filler episode, not a filler episode, but like kind of just like an intermediate episode of like an anime. Like just kind of like this is not needed information, but it's cool.
I wonder what it would be like to watch Han Solo or Solo, a Star Wars story first, and then go into A New Hope.
That'd be really weird.
It'd be weird, right?
That'd be really like you're like, oh, Han Solo, ISIS dude.
But if you start at Solo, then you watch Rogue One, and then you watch Episode 4.
Then you're just confused.
Yeah. Then you're just...
It's like, wait, I thought Han Solo wanted to work for the Empire. Oh.
He's trying to be hard, man.
Why did Han Solo go from plucky hero to icing motherfuckers in a bar?
That dude was gonna shoot him. He learned that lesson from his mentor.
Yeah, but the attitude of that character is very different.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought the actor who played Han Solo did really well.
I think he did a good job.
Yeah.
Like he did fine.
Again, casting.
Yeah. So, So,
but where does it go?
okay, yeah, I'll go. I'll start my list then. So Attack of the Clones, and this is our final fucking overview. We do our last touch question of the day, and then we are fucking done, everyone, with Star Wars.
Yep.
All right, Attack of the Clones is a boring, poorly acted piece of shit. They could have fed me this lore 1,000 different other ways, and they chose to beat it into me with a brick.
No, they chose to feed it to you with a finger against the skin.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck this movie. If I could skip it when rewatching these, I absolutely would. Number 10 is Return of the Jedi. I think it wraps up things really well. I liked the Jedi stuff. The Ewoks suck. Some set pieces feel a bit long. The Ewoks feel a bit long. Jabba's palace is great though. And you do like Vader's redemption. Phantom Menace. I like the way they set up this pristine galaxy. I like the way they set up a bunch of different stuff in it. My problems with it mainly come from bad CG, annoying Jar Jar, and the fact that it is kind of all set up. But by the end of it, I did want to see what happened next.
Sure.
Next up, Rise of Skywalker. It has a lot of cool moments. Broken up individually, has a lot of cool moments, but it also feels like they tried to cram 2 movies into one. Pacing, I'm never bored because of the pacing, but the reason I'm never bored is because it's the most ADD movie of all time. We're on another planet. We're on another planet. We're on another planet. We're doing a thing. We're doing this. Do. I felt like there was only one genuine breathing point in the whole movie where I could have got up to pee.
Sure.
So, yeah, and also the end is fucking stupid. And if you think about any one part of this movie for too long, it falls apart. Then I'm gonna say Solo.
Okay.
Good, very good heist flick. It just feels like it just doesn't need to be in this overall timeline. I got everything I needed from Han Solo in honestly the first 2 Star Wars movies and Force Awakens. I didn't need more Han Solo. Especially didn't need more fucking backstory for Han Solo. But it's a fun heist movie. It has some great effects. Some of the backstory stuff is neat. It's just not needed. Force Awakens, great little start to the new trilogy. I'm real bummed that Force Awakens doesn't continue in a way that those next 2 movies don't match up to a lot. Don't pay off for a lot of the stuff that this movie sets up. But it's it's a good take on Star Wars. It's a very safe take. Evil regime, plucky rebels, big military base, wizards with laser swords.
Yeah.
Good time. My controversial one is Last Jedi at number 5. I think that I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is a movie of peaks and valleys. The peaks are all the Jedi stuff, all the Luke Skywalker stuff, and all that stuff is just so goddamn good. Every little bit of footage on Ahch-To is just old Luke Skywalker, jaded Luke Skywalker might be my favorite fucking character in all of Star Wars. Just him being and it totally is within character. I've had that argument many times. I'm like, what are you talking about? Every time he fucks up, he immediately goes he immediately flees or goes into hiding or fucking has to go deal this is just Luke overcorrecting like always. So yeah, no, I'm sorry, we got a fly in the room.
Mark Hamill wasn't even big on the direction of Luke Skywalker, but I also see where you're coming from for sure.
Yeah, like and that's because Mark Hamill really likes that like first 3 movie interpretation of like hero's journey Luke.
Yeah, the idea of regressing.
Yeah, the idea of like Luke Skywalker being fucking mortal, you know, might not be appealing to some.
Sure.
I like it. I love it. I especially love like how he's like teaching Rey. It's just like the Jedi at the height of their power were fuck ups. Like that is a great like I always wanted the Jedi at the height of their power allowed Darth Sidious to take control of the Republic and rise to power and create the Empire.
That's a good bit.
Like that was great. And then the way he has one of the most gangster fucking moments of all time in all of Star Wars. Like straight up fucking just like does the little Disney shoulder brush like fine. It was cool. Sure. And then just like when Kylo realizes just like, you know, if you strike me down, I'll always be with you. And then just see you around, kid. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm just like, oh, fucking yes. And those moments make me willing to overlook the fucking torrid shitstorm that is Canto Bight and half of the stuff dealing with Admiral Holdo. And you know, even Admiral Holdo, at least we got a payoff for all that bullshit.
Yeah. Good scene.
Yeah. So next up, Rogue One. We talked about it a lot already. Like it's just like it's nice seeing civilian Star Wars.
Seeing the real struggle.
Yeah. New Hope sets up a galaxy far, far away. It's very much prototypical hero's journey, but that's okay. That's all right.
That's not a bad thing.
That's A-okay. They did a good job with it. Great, you know. Had a good time the entire way through. A plus film. So next up is Empire. I'm always one who I tend to like sequels more than originals. Sure. And in this particular case, they really extended the universe, and they took a galaxy far, far away that was already a really cool, interesting place, and they took it even further. And they made a movie that like you get to that ending and you're like, oh shit. You know, like you're like, how the fuck? So yeah, there's that. I feel like Empire is such a hard movie to talk about because like, dude, everyone has talked New Hope and Empire to death.
Yeah.
You know, so and they're basically perfect. I have very little to complain about them. I wish that the first 20 minutes of the first movie was maybe a little tighter. But even then, it's not, like, too much of a complaint.
Yeah.
So, after that, you have my number one, which is Revenge of the Sith.
All right.
I think that I love The Fall.
Yeah.
I love... and it is the entire Fall is believable and sets up so good, and you have just so many moments that like if you had to pick a Star Wars movie that has the most memorable moments that stand out in my mind, it's that one. Between the throne room and the Mace Windu fight and the like, you know, Anakin, you know, like you are my brother. I just like. Hayden Christensen's shitty acting aside, it's my favorite Star Wars. Okay. So, all right, you go.
All right, at the bottom, and just how I value Star Wars movies in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to state beforehand, I have enjoyed all of these movies. I will still enjoy all of these movies.
Okay.
Solo's at my bottom.
Ooh, really?
I enjoyed this movie. It was a good one. I would watch it again. it is the least important to the overall story of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that alone, like, it's fine. It's a good movie.
It's a singular character. Like that's the problem with it. It's like, here's this character who is in the overall lore of Star Wars, very important. Like, admittedly, but like it's still just like one character.
Well, right, yeah,
or like kind of two because of Chewbacca.
Yeah,
but yeah, like
there's a good story there, but
yeah. I got
you. Next, Return of the Jedi. It's I was thinking about it when you were talking, and I think another part of it is it's like a lot of the work to get to what Return of the Jedi was talking about kind of happened in 4 and 5, and so like 6 was this long wait because like Luke's already at the point that he needs to be at, and it's really just all right, time to try and turn Darth Vader,
right?
And will he or won't he? And Luke handles that pretty well, better than Rey does in the new trilogy,
right?
And so, and then on the other side of it is watching Han and the rest of them with the Ewoks. Fighting stormtroopers. It's just like
it takes forever.
It takes a while. That's a long middle stretch. 2 has its issues with long, boring stretches, and then also on top of it, just like weird, awkward moments. But there's interesting information happening there, providing context. Whereas Return of the Jedi is more about just, all right, let's just end this thing. Still a good movie. I like watching it.
Okay.
After that is Last Jedi.
Okay.
Highs are high, but those lows are so low, including one low that is just antithetical to what Star Wars has been about, and it's not addressed by the end of the movie. No one talks about it ever again. It's wrong.
Okay. Fair.
But again, like the entertaining parts are so entertaining and good that it, as a whole package, it still manages to rise above what the entire package of Return of the Jedi is to me. After that, Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
Good high moments, but they ignore a lot of things that are set up in 8, which I think is just kind of fucked up. And they do some cool stuff in that movie. I definitely had a good time, but at the end of the day, I'm just kind of bummed, and I hope that there is a new trilogy that comes out someday with at least the 3 main guys, Rey, Finn, and Poe, coming in older and being more badasses or something, and has better writers and a better plan for their trilogy.
Yes, I completely. Cool. Yeah, that was.
They were good characters in it, but it was just a mess overall.
Oh, God.
So, next, Attack the Clones. Watching it again, I was pleasantly surprised. I was able to.
Out of your mind.
I hated it. Like when I first, those first few times, it is not, in terms of action, it might be the most boring movie of this list. Even Obi-Wan and Jango, it's like they're on the Rain planet. It's like, all right, yeah, okay. Watching Anakin be really awkward with awkward Padme is rough.
Your skin is soft, not like sand.
But
I hate sand.
You
have the personality of a pail of sand.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But there's a lot of good information happens. A lot of good, talking about what about the fall of the Republic and what that means in regards to the Force and the Sith and the Jedi. A lot of that information happens in Attack of the Clones, and I found that stuff fascinating to listen to again. So then, also that was the first movie we got to see Obi-Wan and Anakin, working as buddy cop partners.
Okay, fair
it wasn't
enough.
Great, but
is what it is.
Seeing those two was nice, and then we see the potential kind of a little more fully realized in 3. Next is 1, just it's mostly setup of all these characters, introduction to Anakin and all that stuff. It's the Qui-Gon, one of the best Jedi in the whole series.
Arguably best Jedi.
I mean, yeah, really. That's why we also are introduced to Mace Windu, who's also great, but we don't get to see him in action till 2.
Right.
Young Obi-Wan. But we get to see like this whole new world open up that is completely different from the original trilogy Star Wars, but is also just as fascinating and cool. So, guns aside.
Guns aside, okay. Got it.
But, so, entertaining movie. Pod racing, also. Damn.
Pod racing is underrated.
They showed 3 laps, no music. It is just you watching this pod race, and it's great.
Agree.
Movie up from that, Force Awakens, great. I think it's a great movie that shows off a great group of characters and sets up a series to do well. I hope it goes well. Anyway, so then after that is Empire.
Okay.
Empire's a great movie. Sets up a lot of what we know about the Force, introduces us to Yoda, find out about Vader and Luke and all that.
Great Yoda quotes to this day.
Great Yoda quotes. Seeing the true power of the Force, getting to see our second lightsaber fight, one that's a little bit more violent.
A little more oomph to it, a little more. Yeah, no, gotcha.
So, good stuff there. Next up, starting in my top 3 is Rogue One. Fantastic movie, talking about the struggles of the rebels and the struggle of Jedi and Sith is about like the pure of heart and mind versus the people who have embraced darkness, and the rebels are just the people, the 99% of people that are in between, that are struggling with those two sides in their daily lives and trying to fight for peace and freedom and security and all that. And there's just a lot going on there that's really cool that never gets explored in the other movies because it's about the extremes. Good stuff there. Number 2 is Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
Just a fantastic movie from top to bottom. Got bolstered up by 1 and 2, and then 2/3 of the way through the movie, you're like, Anakin's still on the good side. Everything's still like, you see the dominoes, they're not even starting to fall, they are threatening for over half of the movie, and you're just like, oh.
And you're just anxious the entire time, and you're just like, you know what's gonna happen, but you don't want it to.
And they show it off early. Like, they show first scene is Obi-Wan and Anakin working really well together, but then like at the end of the first fight, which is a great fight, just kills Count Dooku at the word of Palpatine. It's like,
do it.
Oh man, we're in it.
He's too dangerous to be left alive.
Oh, and it just, oh God, that movie's so good. And I've said it before, it's almost virtually tied with my number 1, but my number 1 is A New Hope, because it establishes it all. It is
the starest of Star Wars.
It establishes everything. It is a great standalone movie that explores like a full story arc just in one. It's, troubled times leading into saving the galaxy or whatever. Some characters change. Han Solo's struggle. So there's a lot of good stuff there, and it's made even better when you understand the context that Rogue One provides. And
right, and watching Rogue One makes me want to dive right into it.
Yeah,
like immediately almost. Between
Darth Vader entering, trying to get into the ship and just destroying dudes, and then seeing Leia getting the disc, and it's like, all right. And then you see the ship take off.
Right.
Man. But yeah, that's the list. That's our final Star Wars movie list.
So yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you love us, hate us, indifferent?
While they're doing that, best fight in Star Wars.
Anakin versus Obi-Wan.
That's like the default.
That's
I'm really trying to think of.
There are some really good ones. Yeah, I like the Kylo Ray fight, the second one.
They're good.
I like I really enjoy the Yoda Palpatine fight, the Qui-Gon Obi-Wan Maul 3-way. Like those
That's
are
a
all
pretty
good
good one.
fights, but like that Anakin fight, bro, you just can't top it.
There's just
It's-
such intensity, and then you consider like the stakes, and that it's basically like they talk about in storytelling. You have the rise, rise, and rise, then you have the climax and the fall, and like this is like the climax in terms of like suspense and holding our attention, but in terms of like following Anakin's storyline, we are deep in the fall. It has begun already, and it cannot be stopped. It can't be taken away. And now it's these two partners who have been partners for like 2 movies, and it's all gone to shit. And then the battle
Right.
itself
Two
is
two
great.
movies, and for some people, possibly an entire TV show.
Right.
Like so, I mean, there you go.
God.
So yeah,
That scene, that final scene, is something else.
so yeah, that just like it really is something.
Yep.
So guys, once again, what'd you think? If you haven't yet, give us a follow. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you can afford it or if you have that Prime, give us a sub. Every last dime goes into making the stream better. So
Absolutely.
yes.
We'll be talking about stuff. We're gonna be streaming. We're streaming weekly.
Yep.
Once or twice a week at the very, very least. We're gonna add more as time goes on. Playing video games.
Yep. 10:30 a.m. PST tomorrow. We got our Game of the Year podcast, and the recording of that will go up on YouTube. For Super Gamecraft, if you want to see the recording. So yeah, thank you guys. Hope you had a great night for tuning in. I think I'm gonna have us raid my friend Matt to end the night.
Ooh,
let's
nice.
Let's go start a raid.
Sure.
All right. 2 viewers are ready to raid. All right.
I've never done this before.
Raid now. You can still hear me because of Skype. Right?
Yeah.
Um,
So is our stream over? It's just
yeah.
raiding?
Yep. Ours is just now on his.
Hey viewers, nice. And a host. Oh, host and raid. How does that work out anyways? I never know. Thank you for the host, man. I appreciate it.
Nice.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, we're good.
It's 31 to 12. We're actually just fucking bullying them.
No bully.
You and I should play Hero sometimes. That's what makes watching this makes me think. That's what that.
Why aren't you playing Heroes?
Like right this instant?
Yeah.
Because we were doing a podcast.
No, I mean like
In general,
yeah, in general.
I played Heroes yesterday.
Gamecraft on my,
Well, did you
raid
stream it?
list.
No, it was just like during the day when I was off.
Just tonight.
Were you
It'll be
streaming
tonight.
fighters?
No, I didn't stream yesterday because.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I ended up being out way later than
That was
expected.
pretty easy.
Oh, wow.
I had
Boo.
very good chicken parm.
Is that how?
Okay.
So take that how you will.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, let's see. So and we can go on live now.